Hello and welcome, everyone. Lovely to see those of you joining on the Zoom. Welcome. And also welcome to those watching the live stream on YouTube or the recording. We do this every Wednesday. And it's just a really sweet pause in the middle of the week. I feel that those who have been joining regularly have really been enjoying it and been touched by it and found it very supportive. And me too. Yeah. And what I love to do at the beginning of these sessions, partly because we don't have any interaction in terms of we don't have a dialogue in these sessions. So, but I'd love to feel into who is here so that we're not just, in our separate little boxes feeling disconnected. So if you feel to write a word or two about how you are showing up in this moment, what you're bringing here today, how you feel in this moment, you can write it in the chat if you feel. No pressure, you don't have to. But I just love to get a sense of who is here in the Zoom. So Alex, I feel open and a bit nervous. Thank you. Misa, lots of love. Nicole, a bit sleepy. Patrick, it went fast. Hello, feeling good. I'm interested to know what is going to unfold. Yeah. Christina is silent. Martin feels nervous and sleepy. Raphael, happy to be here. Emma feels nicely full and curious. Margot, hi, all this. Margot from Amsterdam. I'm grateful for this oasis of peace. Lovely. Stefan, conflicted today. Yeah. Amanda, grateful to be here, bringing achy body from DIY. So resting here for the mind feels an invitation. Yeah, lovely. Kati, nice to share this moment. Santo, the first live session hearing you. Great. Lovely. Well, if you at any point feel to type anything else, you're very welcome. So let's start by taking a few moments to feel into how we are right now. So we can close our eyes, take a few deep breaths, and with each breath, settling here now. And starting to bring the attention to this body with curiosity. What is being felt right now? And whatever is here, or whatever you notice, is absolutely perfect, just the way it is. It's absolutely meant to be here. And noticing if there are thoughts that have some commentary, something to say about the experience. We can acknowledge those thoughts as well. They're also welcome to be here, but they have no more importance or value than any other sensation. And perhaps as we are starting to feel into the collective energy that we create just by coming together in this way with this intention to meet in truth, in what is present. Somehow, mysteriously, it creates a field, an energy that we can relax into. A field that is nourishing and supportive. In whatever we are exploring in our lives, whatever we are feeling, whatever we're going through in our lives. Coming together in this way, knowing that we're all in this together, even though we're in separate spaces, separate places. There is a mutual love of truth, of what is present and real. And in this moment, we're not separate at all. My voice is your voice. So we can just take another couple of moments to rest in this space, in this space of no separation. And then we can again bring our attention to the breath, taking some deeper breaths into the belly. Feeling the sensation of sitting on this seat, contact with the ground. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I always offer the opportunity to ask a question when you register to join this. And so I have a couple of questions that people have asked, or themes that people have asked me to speak more about. So we'll see if we can fit both in. The first one is, what does it mean to truly wake up? So there are many misconceptions about awakening. People perhaps think that it's like waving some kind of magic wand that makes everything perfect, everything better, that we just skip off into the sunset in bliss all the time. Or that it magically heals all our wounds and traumas, or it wipes the slate clean from our conditioning, or that we don't feel emotion anymore. There are many misconceptions based on people who perhaps have had awakening experiences, then speaking about their experiences or about their realizations. And the problem with words is that as soon as we try to speak about what is beyond words, words just get in the way. Words cannot really describe this. It is that realization that the one that we have believed myself to be is not that. Sorry, the dog is trying to get out and it's really distracting. I'm just going to have to let her out, otherwise I won't be able to go on. Yeah, so what does it mean to truly wake up? Yeah, so I spoke about the misconceptions that we have. And the people who speak about awakening from their own experiences, of course, they are not trying to lie or say something that isn't true to deceive people or something like that. It's just that when they speak about their experience, they will be speaking either about a particular experience that accompanied awakening, which might feel expansive and blissful, but that is just a passing experience. That's not the awakening itself. And then also people will speak, as I said, like from what is beyond words. And so every word is wrong. Every word is open to misinterpretation and misunderstanding. So it's really hard to, or maybe even impossible, to say what awakening is. And as soon as we try to explain it, the mind can try to grasp it and try to understand it, and maybe even compare what my experience is compared to the one that is describing the experience, or describing awakening. And this comparing never serves us. Then we assume that must mean I'm wrong in some way. I haven't got it yet compared to them. But everyone has a unique awakening experience or a pathway into awakening. It is different for everybody. Sometimes people have sudden realizations where it's, everything seems to be seen all at once, or if that is even possible, but a big explosion, let's say, where a lot falls away. And other people seem to have lots of small realizations where it gradually opens up more and more. And sometimes it's a combination of both. So, yeah, and the other thing is that awakening is really about realizing that there is no separate me. There is no me who is living my life in a timeline, in control, or with my agendas. That in fact, that me that I've believed myself to be is simply a thought. And then the question is, well, who am I then, if I'm not that me? And then it is the recognition that who I am is life itself. And awakening can be the initial recognition that there's no separate me, but then the living of it unfolds more and more and more over time. I would say for the rest of our lives, really, as the realization that there is no me integrates into our living experience, which means that all the conditioning that we have grown up with, that we have learnt and taken on, all the wounds and traumas that we've experienced in our lives, and the protection mechanisms that we've gathered, the different identities that we play out, all those actually need to be embraced and acknowledged and woken up to, as well as that sense of me, but all the little senses of me. And that, as I said, it's a lifetime unfolding. We can see in our original awakening that there is no real sense of me, but still this human can go on behaving as if there is in certain circumstances. And so each time one of those triggers happens for whatever reason, and one of those old identities is there playing out, it is an opportunity to become more conscious of it, to become aware of it, and to embrace it, and for it to be integrated more and more into the living of this. So it's an endless unfolding. And yeah, the other question, we have a few more minutes left, was for me to speak about the risk of love and what love is. In the normal way that we use the word love, it's usually relating to loving other people or things or animals or places. But I like to use the word love as another word for who I am, as another word for awareness, truth. Love is that unconditionally sees and knows it all just the way it is, that unconditionally meets whatever is here for this human just the way she is. And as that love, it is all okay to be here. It's all welcome. Nothing needs to be fixed or changed. It's all welcome to be the human mess. And part of that mess is our vulnerability. And that is the risk of love, of opening up to love in our living experience, in our human experience, showing ourselves as the vulnerability, as the not knowing how to be. And knowing ourselves to be that bigger love means that we can take that risk to show ourselves, to open our heart, to share our innermost feelings and fears and longings. We can more and more take that risk because there is a bigger sense of safety and holding in knowing ourselves to be that wider, unlimited embracing that is love. And that also includes heartbreak, which is always going to be the other side of the coin of love and showing up and our vulnerability, showing up as our vulnerability in our lives. The other side of it is that whoever or whatever we love, we're bound to lose. Now, of course, as that bigger love that we are, nothing is ever lost. Right? It's all who I am. It's always here. Everything, everyone, not separate. And yet in our human experience, we love and we lose. And of course, this is terribly painful. And we have to go through it again and again. And this bigger love includes the heartbreak of losing love, knowing that nothing is ever really lost. And it takes courage to keep opening to love in our lived experience, especially when we have been hurt, when we have lost. It takes a lot of courage to keep showing up, to first of all feel into the love for this human. It's not only about loving the other, but it's also about loving this one. To acknowledge our vulnerability and then to show up in the world with others. And yet again, this courage to keep showing ourselves comes from this bigger love that is courage itself. So we don't have to try to be courageous or push ourselves to do anything. It's actually acknowledging that who I really am is always open-hearted. It never closes. It's always courageously open, willing to show up again and again and again, endlessly. And of course, the biggest risk in love is that when we expose ourselves, share what is in our hearts, when we get close to somebody else, it is also about losing control, losing a sense of me and separation, which on one hand can feel very isolating and lonely to hold on to, but at the same time, it is also a protection that can seem to keep us safe. So it can feel very challenging to really open up and merge and melt into the other, which is often what we long for, because we're afraid to lose this sense of me. In fact, to die into the other. And therefore actually to realize that there is no other. To lose all boundaries of separation that we have been holding on to desperately to protect ourselves. To risk losing it all. But then, of course, this is what we long for because it is what we are, right? The love that is beyond all separation. It's already who we are. So then when we live as if we are separate, as if we could protect ourselves, this feels so painful. This is who we are. Love itself. So it's not about doing or forcing yourself to open up. It's more about resonating with what I'm saying now. Recognizing for yourself what is true. And that's enough. If you know yourself to be love, not intellectually, but beyond these words, then this love does its own work. It has its own way of opening and opening and opening, of inviting this human experience to keep taking those little risks in our lives, to share what's in our hearts, or to expose some small piece of our vulnerability. So yeah, it's also about trusting the love that you are, falling back into that, surrendering to the love as it opens our hearts more and more. Yeah. So if you feel to write another word or two in the chat about how you are now before we close, it'd be lovely to hear. I see Dennis wrote, taking a break to be quiet before getting back to work. Nice. Alex, dissolving in love's embrace. Yeah. Misa, thank you. That was so beautiful. Mander. Marco, deeply relaxed. Martin, contented and grateful. Thank you. Patrick, feeling presence and rest. Beautiful. Kati, I feel this love now. Nicole, still sleepy, but in a calm way. Nice. Raphael, feel peaceful, accepted. Thank you. Yeah, lovely. Oh, thank you very much, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you all today. Well, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, same time, same place. All right. Thank you, everyone. Lots of love.